Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Game of the Week. And it's a brand new game. Thank you very much for all the support, and welcome in for another exciting edition. This time, this week, we are going with Mvemba of Kongo. I would say, of all of the civilizations in the game, in the time that I've played Civilization 6 on stream, I would say this Civ gets the most votes for favorite Civ of any other. A lot of people come in here like, hey, what's your favorite Civ? And I'll list off a few, and these guys are usually on my list. And then invariably, so many people will say, oh, I love Congo. They're so much fun. They're great. I love the way they work. They're such a great Civ. There's just something fun about playing with them. And I hope that after experiencing this playthrough and enjoying yourself with this one, that you can find yourself enjoying them as well. What I should probably start by doing is going through their traits. And I will say this, as much as they are one of my favorites, and as much as a lot of people love playing with them, I wouldn't necessarily go so far as to say they're like a particularly powerful nation. I don't even know if I would put them in a top 10. They are a little bit restricted in what they're kind of capable of. They can't get a religion, so they can't get a religious victory. They're just immediately cut off from having the possibility of even getting a religious victory because they can't even establish a religion. And they're also, what I would say, quite negatively impacted, or not, at least not positively impacted in a military game. They do have a decent special unit. It's not particularly strong. It's not weak. It's whatever. It's a replacement for the swordsman. It's a little bit cheaper. Of course, it's you can pre-build it with warriors and stuff, so it's pretty good. But it's not anything that it's gonna help you get a serious uptick on your chance at a military victory. If you're gonna win with these guys with military victory, it's gonna be just pure raw, no advantages kind of thing. But the biggest thing that these guys have, their biggest advantage. Hey, Hendu, how you doing? Fifth? You would put these guys as your fifth favorite, or the fifth best in the game? I wouldn't put them anywhere near fifth. I don't think. I love playing with them. The two things that they can do first of all, they can do culture big time, and they would also be able to do science quite well because as long as you were to work this one particular unique ability really hard, you can make really quick productive cities, or at least 2 or 3 really strong productive cities, and work the culture hard. And when you're working culture fast, that helps you with your science game as well. Oh, you plead fifth. Oh. So Nkisi is their unique ability. You get a +2 food, +2 production, and +4 gold bonus from each relic, artifact, and sculpture great work of art in addition to the usual culture. So obviously relics OP, artifacts OP. If you can get sculptures, that's OP. So when it comes to building your theater squares and getting your buildings in there, you're going to want to get a lot of archaeological museums, because that instantly becomes, you can go out, get 3 artifacts, and every city immediately gets a bonus 6 food, bonus 6 production, and a bonus of 12 gold every turn for the rest of the game, which is a nice little boost kind of mid to late game once you get those artifacts in there. It's a nice little boost to all your cities to help you push on to a victory. In addition to that, though, Congo has a very, very interesting manner in which you can get relics, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So you can get a lot of bonus relics, which will help. down the road. And in particular, you have 5 slots available for great works in your capital, and so you can actually store 5 relics in your capital and make your capital, like, that's 10 extra food, 10 extra production, and 20 extra gold just instantly, like just every turn, boom, amazingly strong, which makes your capitals very, very awesome. In addition to all that, you receive an extra 50% more great writer, great artist, great musician, and great merchant points, which allows you to be a big hog when it comes to the great merchants, of course, but also the great writers and artists and musicians. So think about it like this: if let's say you're kind of in a tight race with another civilization for great merchant points. Let's say you're getting 20 a turn and they're getting 18 a turn, so it's tight and you're kind of trading them back and forth. Brahms, thank you very much, buddy. It's good to see you. More bitters. Think about it like this: if you're Congo, instead of being in that tight race, where it's like 2 or 3 point difference and you're kind of trading them back and forth, all of a sudden you're making 30 a turn and they're making 20 a turn or 18 a turn or 50, whatever. So instead of being just barely ahead of them or barely behind them, you're well ahead of them, and you can plow through those great merchants or great writers or whatever, and it can make such a huge impact on being able to hog those great works, which is really great. Congo can be very frustrating to play against on the Deity AI, because they'll spam districts on you and they will gobble up every great merchant. They'll have 10 or 12, if they can get the space, they'll have 10 or 12 cities. They'll have great merchants or great commercial hubs in all of them, getting great merchant points in all of them, and then it's just like 50% more, and you just can't keep up, and they just destroy you that way. So they can be tough to play against. So that's that. Now, you're probably wondering exactly how it is that you're going to get all these relics you're talking about. Well, this is how. When you build an Mbanza, which is your special district, replaces the neighborhood. Every time you build it, it can only be constructed in rainforest and woods, and it replaces the neighborhood district. And it provides +5 housing no matter where it goes, as well as +2 food and +4 gold, regardless of appeal. But what happens is, when you build this, like this, even though you can't build the holy sites and get profits and get religion, you gain all the beliefs of others. But this is the biggie: you receive an apostle each time you finish an Mbanza or a theater square district of the city's major religion. So think about it like that. If every time you build a theater square, you're going to get an apostle, or an apostle. Every time you build an Mbanza, you're going to get an apostle. So each one of those has the ability to get the martyrdom ability, a martyrdom trait, a promotion, whatever you want to call it. And with the martyrdom trait, if you die in combat as a religious apostle, you immediately get a relic created in your lands. And if you build St.michel, which we will do everything we can to make sure we absolutely 100% get on a St.michel wonder, then every single one of those apostles that you create will have the martyrdom ability, and you just take them off to the other people's lands, get into combat, die, relic created, and you just do that over and over again, every theater square and every Mbanza. So if you could imagine, even if you build a theater square in 8 cities and an Mbanza in every city or close to every city, that's 15 or 18 apostles that you can create. And if every one of them turns into a relic, you've got 5 slots in your capital. St.michel, I believe, gives you 2 slots, and if you can get st.basils Cathedral, that gives you 3. So that's 10 right out of the gate that you can have put in your city for locations for your relics. Yes, St.michel gives you 2 spots, and st.basils gives you 3. I don't think there's a whole lot of other options. There's a bank you can get with a great person, a great merchant, that allows you to store 2 more things. That is a completely open slots. If you can get Apadana, right here, I believe it's any 2 great works, holds any type, yeah. So that can hold any type. So those also could be relics, I believe. Great works, any great works, I think, including relics. Pretty sure. So if you could ever get Apadana, then that's another place you could put a couple relics and be happy about it. So that, in a nutshell, is Congo. They have a couple really awesome benefits. The specialty district's okay. It's really about the apostles you get from it that are great. And then there's special units, just kind of a whatever unit. But the ability to gain all beliefs of the religion that's established itself as your major in the majority of your cities is also really strong as well. So don't underestimate that. So after all of that long discussion, let's go ahead and get to work. We found ourselves here a really good start. It's not amazing, but there's no OP tiles, but there's a few strong tiles to work. You of course want to settle in place right away because it is a 2-2 city center with a 3-2 to work. So we're gonna have a quarry here that can be built, and another one here. Actually, no, wait, gypsum I think is mine, right? And this is quarry. Yeah, I think that's mine. So that's a minor resource at the very least. So not too bad here. We got some good tiles, like I said. Resource to farm, which will be nice to get your help with irrigation. One of the things I always and I talk about this especially with Brazil as well, with these 2 guys, is it can be extremely frustrating to have to start in a lot of jungle, and you have to chop yourself out, and there's not a lot of stuff to do. So it's nice to see at least there's a quarry here and a resource to in rice to farm there. So it makes it so it's not quite so feel like you're just kind of trapped and just kind of a slow start. So that's nice. With this guy, I kind of want to just follow the river up. So let's keep moving up the river, and we'll grab some production. You could go with the warrior here. It's an extra 2 turns. It will delay your settler by 2 because you do have a growth in 5. So you go warrior, you can go scout. I do like the idea of going scout in order to get to your settler that much sooner. Just 2 turns sooner on your settlers, 2 turns sooner, right? Having that growth, you might as well take advantage of it. So we'll go scout. I know you guys a lot of times you'll be like, hey, why don't you go warrior? We always say you go warrior. Now you're going scout. Make up your mind. There's no right or wrong answer. But this time we're just going to go scout and be happy about it. So be happy about it. It looks like that river might be ending. Or is that just my figment of my imagination? It sure looks like that river's actually ending into some water there. And that's the coast, so that makes sense. Let's take a quick look at our continent lens before we hit next turn. We are all on 1 continent here. Alright. I refuse. I never happy. What's up, Kincho? First thing we'll want here, I guess, would be mining for this quarry. And I guess that as well, but we have to buy into it to actually get to it anyway, but yeah. Go here. Not that it matters. So we got a little lake here off to the side. That's interesting. Quick growth is going to be nice. Up there. Whoa. Just a second. Wow. Okay. So it looks like we're up in the corner somewhere. Because we've got what do you call it? Coastal tile there and a coastal tile here. So looks like we might be kind of stuck in a corner of the continent, which isn't necessarily bad. At least you're defensible. on one end. You know, you don't have to worry about being forward settled in one section is always nice. By the way, folks, I should have mentioned this maybe at the beginning. It is a continents map. It is a standard size continents map. And if you want to check in the description of the video on YouTube, all the information, including the seed, game seed and map seed, are available in the description. So you can check that out. And also, if you're on Twitch here, you can use the Game of the Week command to get that same information. Fairly late. Natural History Museum can also hold 4 of any type. Oh yeah, late in the game. Yeah. That's a good point. Just pointing out, if your third government building can be the Natural History Museum once you get to your third government, and that can hold any 4 as well. Rango, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? All right. Next turn we get our scout. Maybe we'll head south. Oh, there's a little city-state going on up here. All right, that's Granada, and you know how much we love that. So I always talk about, like, obviously meeting a theater or a cultural city-state early is awesome because it gives you that ability to push that civics tree quick, which there's not really any other way to do that quickly other than if you get tiles to do it. So that's always strong. Obviously, meeting a science one, you get extra science, and then extra, commercial one, you get extra gold. Those are all great, and probably the best tree you can really find. But I would actually make an argument that, hey, you're going to get your culture and your science eventually, and you're going to get your gold eventually. But meeting Granada or any of the other military city states gives you that extra 2 production in the capital to build any unit, but settlers in particular. And so it just speeds up by a turn or 2. Like this right here, working 2 tiles like that, this would have been a 10 or possibly 11 turn settler, and now it's going to be 8 because we have that boost. And that's so strong. That's so great. What's we going to do with this guy? I suppose we could run him out here, see what's going on with this coastline this way. I kind of want to take him south and find some more good land because we're kind of getting stuck up here in the top. Let's keep moving. Let's go like that, I guess. New continent. That's a nice boost to get. I'm gonna go there. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty much to the end there. I'm gonna actually come back this way and get on this hill and move that way. I want to try and get south and start finding out what's going on down there. Let this warrior do his thing up this way. Got to figure out where to put our settler. There's a barb hut. He's kind of a ways from us. I can always, if the scout ends up making his way back here, I'll have my warrior in position to do a little something about it. But for now, I'm gonna keep heading north, trying to figure out what's going on here. There's a river heading north there, so maybe there's a grouping of settlers up here, or settlers, city states. Settler in 5. Ooh, hello there, Yerevan. Oh, there's our Pantheon. How much do we like that? There's our Pantheon. There's a nice tile there too. The other cool thing too about this is if you ever were struggling for space, let's see if we got forward settled here. We didn't have a lot of space and we were kind of running out. Granada, once we built our settlers and stuff and got a bit of a military together, there's absolutely no need to actually worry about having them. There's no benefit to them at all. And then Yerevan, this is a very strong one as far as, like, for instance, let's say you didn't get st.michel. Yerevan's a very strong one to get because your apostles units can choose any promotion instead of receiving a random promotion. So instead of getting a random selection of 2 or 3, usually 3 that you can choose from, you can immediately just choose anyone you want. You just choose martyrdom on all of them and then go get them killed. So if for some reason you did not get st.michel, Yerevan in the game as a possibility is fantastic. Once you've got st.michel made, by the way, do we have? Oh yeah, I guess we have. So we have Marsh there as well, but it was either one of these. As long as you have Marsh tile, because you have to have that to build st.michel. Yeah, so once if you had st.michel built, you wouldn't really need Yerevan anymore. You could theoretically, if you wanted to, just go and take those cities out if they're all there up by yourself. Some nice tiles. They actually look like pretty good cities. You can put together a military, go buy yourself a couple cities that are that. Because if you were stretched for space and you just thought, well, why not, right? Okay, some extra there. st.michel hype.
When you find yourself in a
go like that. Okay, we got some mountains here now, so that's nice to no, that's like actually a +3. It's funny, for the beginning I was like, oh geez, we don't have any mountains around, that's gonna suck, I'm not gonna have a very good campus, and then all of a sudden, boom, +3 campus. So bam, just like that, you're looking good. What? Let's see. Grab animal husbandry. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Animal husbandry, if we went up here for our second city. I don't know if we will, though. My guess is we'll come down this way. There's a river here. Doesn't really matter that much. Okay. Yeah, in either case, I guess, doesn't really matter that much. Kind of want to step on the hill, but I'm gonna step on the hill. Okay, let me just check out the settler lens for a second. Okay, so that's a coastal there, river ending there. So there might be some more tiles in here we need to take a look at, though. There. Oh, shoosh. Wow. Okay. I'm just noticing now that I see tundra, which isn't bad. Seeing tundra isn't bad in that it gives us the possibility that we could build ourselves st.basils Cathedral, and building st.basils Cathedral is a wonderful, wonderful thing for us in this game. So that's a very positive sign, actually. But it's just very curious that if we're in the south, what's going on up this way? Maybe we're stuck in the bottom here, and then this is the continent? Because I felt like we were kind of like in the top left-hand corner, but now we're not in the top left-hand corner because we've got tundra. I don't know. It's a strange world. That's the wonderful thing about exploring on now. Ooh. Come on. Ooh. I mean, Relic's getting greedy, but population would be nice. Or military tradition, which we'll easily get later. No problem. Oh, city number 2. Next turn we have a settler. I don't know really where to go. There's a 2-2 city center out here with fresh water, and it's on the lake, but there's not a lot of great tiles to work. Certainly no growth to speak of, or not a lot of growth to speak of. So I don't really know if that's... You want a city that can grow as your second city. Another nice spot for a campus here. Maybe another spot for a campus there too. Hey, what's up, Shuff Man? A UV with a tundra base. What do you mean by UV? Sorry, I don't know why I don't know what you mean by that. Sorry, bud. Hey, Karen. How are you, Karen? Good to see you. Just trying to think. There's not. You know what I do is I fall into that trap of looking for two city centers on rivers, and I'm not seeing it. So then you think, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Potentially a city right on that marsh could be an idea. We'll have to see how far we want to go here, but we should probably take a look at what's going on in there too as well. Ooh, we're surrounded by good huts. Really nice tile there. And Petro hype. I'm starting to think, just because this coast is going on forever, oh man, I think we're gonna be on an island. Now we could push our luck and go God King. How long on 15 turns? That's a lot of extra turns. Right now, we're only 2 a turn right now. So we're only like 6 turns. We need, what, 15 more? Yeah, 6 turns. No, more than that. 12. 8 turns, sorry. 8 turns would get us there. Yeah. 8 turns would get us there. Is there a particular Pantheon that we would want? Probably Chops, because we're probably going to want to do some what do you call it? National parks later in the game, and you can't do that without faith, and we can't build holy sites to get the faith, so we probably really badly need Chops. So part of me really wants to go with production in cities, but pushing the Pantheon along, that would be 3 a turn. We would have a Pantheon in 5 turns with that, and that would be turn 19. That would give us a pretty good chance at it. I really want to push our chances up of making sure we get that, because if we don't get faith from Chops, then we're going to be pretty desperately looking for well, we won't be able to get enough faith to get national parks, which is going to suck. Like it goes down to the back. Oh, when you said UV, I'm like, what? You talking about UV rays? Like, we're out in the sun? In the top left corner and the... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, holy site adjacency for rainforest, exactly. Yeah, that's what you want. So where do we go? I mean, this isn't a bad city. There's not really a lot of great tiles, but I mean, there's a quarry there, the 2-2 tile there. There's some stuff to chop down. There's a luxury. There's gonna be a nice campus to throw down. There is some hills. Maybe we can go this way and scout and then head down. Really nice tile out here. No fresh water to speak of at the moment, though. I think I am going to go south with this guy. And I might even actually scout just a turn. Just make sure to learn everything we can as we come down here. Worth an extra turn, I think, to make sure we learn. Go there, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe we don't do that. I don't know. Okay, so here's where the interesting thing comes in here. Monument to push us through the culture tree certainly makes a lot of sense. Having not met anybody yet, it makes me feel like we're on an island or just secluded, kind of like we were a couple weeks ago. Which is kind of going to suck. Like, we want to be able to get a religion fairly quick from other civs. And being stuck on an island, even though it means, okay, you don't have to worry about war, well, it also means that, you know, you're going to end up... Yeah, it's difficult to get era score. You're kind of trapped. You know, it can be kind of frustrating. Hey, what's going on, guys? Brahms and Caveman with the biddies. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. So Monument certainly makes sense, but with all this room, so does Settler. Just spit it out of Settler, right? But I like the idea of going Monument for a couple reasons. First of all, working the culture tree, but also it allows your population to get up a little bit before you go back to Settler and jump your population down by a couple. So yeah, let's go here so we can then we head south and get that one. So yeah, I don't mind going monument here for a couple of reasons, so we'll do that. I don't know if I want to go. I'm gonna do it anyway. Ooh, hello there. I just wanted to learn everything about our capital here. So this tile there we haven't seen yet. Not much here, not much for hills, so there's a lot of chops. Which I guess we turn into farmland. The city's not going to be... There's not a lot of hills. Like, I guess there's hills here and back here, so it's not too bad. But farmland up there, I suppose, or farmland out here even. Howdy, howdy. Luxury here. So that's 3 luxury capital. Not bad at all. Even though they're all kind of on the outskirts. It's not bad. And this turtle. Oh, that's the worst. Turtle's out of reach, and there's no way we'll ever be able to get it. Because we'll never be able to put a city anywhere along here to get that. Even if you put a city there, you wouldn't be able to get it. Closest you could put a city is here, and that's not close enough. So that pearl makes things very interesting, though, because now you kind of want to make... If you put the city here, you can get the pearl. If you put it anywhere else, you don't. And that's a +3 campus location that you're actually interfering with. Oof. Maybe you pass up on the pearl, I think. Monument, yeah. Yeah, I need to be able to explore more to find more places for cities. I agree with that completely. Yeah, I don't know. One good thing about this... about doing the culture run with Congo is you can't build holy sites if you wanted to. So you kind of have that 4th district open. Because normally in a culture run you go science and theater squares, and then you run your commercial and your holy site as your top 4 pretty much exclusively. But without being able to do the holy site, you kind of have that open. So you can do entertainment complexes quite a bit and get your amenities up that way. So I don't not necessarily set on doing a bad settle just to get those pearls. Plus it looks like we're all over this island, so oh, there we go. Free builder. We're all over this island, so more than likely at some point we're going to find pearls somewhere else, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, some mountain ranges down here, plenty of tundra, should be able to have a nice little st.basils. And we'd like to see the trees around so we can chop that st.basils done. Follow the rabbit hole, I guess, with my only scout. I kind of want to settle the marsh. I'm gonna. I don't know. I need to do a little bit more exploring. I don't think I want to go down this way. I need to figure out what's going on here so I can make 100% sure where I want to put that guy. Alright, so we can work that farm, get our irrigation boost. That's a +5 food tile. Growth will be immense. Then we'll be able to come down here and work that marble here in a second as well, make another really nice tile with culture boost, which will be fantastic. Oh, we got a lake here. +3. That might be. I think that's a +4 campus location right there.
I am fond of pigs.
So yeah, that coast is coming right in here tight. If I put a city there, it gets all the way to that coast and all the way to that coast. Covers all of this. 1, 2, 3. It covers all the way up to here. That covers all that. So we don't miss any tiles. I feel like that's still, I think that's the best location. The only thing is where do we put, like, what we could do is we could put a city like right smack dab in the middle of the tundra and chop out st.basils and just have an amazing st.basils city. You get an extra food, an extra production, and a culture on all tiles in the tundra. So extra food, extra production, and then the culture. So even these tiles here become 2-1 tiles. But like everything, well, I guess you got hills. So the hills would be 2 food. These would be 2 food, 2 production. You put mines on them, they become incredible. So those would be great. That would be great. That's a hill as well. So you chop that out as another mine. So it's 1, 2, 3. You'd have 5 mines. That one's not a hill though. Well, that's not even on tundra. And then you could put trees along. Eventually, you could put trees along this and put water mills or lumber mills in. Okay. Experience. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really wanted experience. What? Time to choose a Pantheon. Hey, what's going on, SQL? No emulator is live. So obviously we go hooking. We actually could get Faith from Appeal. Now it's worth taking a quick look. Obviously in the capital there's a ton of chops. There's plenty of chops down through here. There's some marshes that we'll be eating. Of course we'll chop out st.basils there. Not much to chop there. Fair amount in here if we put a city. It's not expansive land. We're gonna have a fair amount. A lot of these cities are gonna have a fair amount of coastal cities or coastal tiles in that, so it's not gonna be like crazy. But it's either that or we go appeal. We could have potentially. I don't know. We'll have to see what's going on the other. Oh, here, can we do that? Yeah, let's go. Wow. Oh wow. Ooh, that's very interesting. So there's a cultural city-state up there, but there's actually, if you settle that T right there, there's plenty of chops, and the only thing we'd be lacking at this point, oh my god, please tell me there's a flat piece of desert somewhere. Oh my god. Please tell me there's a flat piece of desert up here somewhere. Oh my god, that could be the worst troll of all time. So we could go with appeal. We obviously have a lot of coastal land, so that'll obviously be very good. We'd have to get rid of all the jungle, which is, I mean, we can put the Mbanzas on forest tiles, so that's fine. Once you get rid of the jungle and the marsh, there's a fair amount of mountains buried about. So you'd have pretty good appeal down through here. Like, all this is all charming. Next to all the mountains, and there's enough trees kind of spattered about. There's some jungle up here that would have to go once you got up in here. But again, you get rid of that jungle. Faith from Appeal could be like... I always go with the chops. Faith from Appeal could be massive. It could really start adding up in the later game. Once we have all the cities covered and we start focusing on the appeal, we could have just a ridiculous amount of appeal. There's not a ton of hills, so like obviously to make our capital productive, we want to chop this out and build mines, so that would kind of crush this area. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting decision. It is an interesting decision to have to make. It's you kind of have to decide one way or another. It's either, do you want to focus on your appeal and therefore kind of limit your mines and your quarries and stuff and find ways to get production otherwise, or do you just say screw it, I don't care about the appeal and we'll just push for faith from chops and mine whatever we want. If we had more rivers, I would consider it, but there's a lot of cities and land out here that are just not going to have rivers, and without rivers you can't build lumber mills, and without lumber mills you need mines or you'll have unproductive cities. So if we had like rivers kind of cascading throughout our land, I would say we had a much better shot at trying that. But I mean, there's the only river to the north is currently occupied by a couple city-states, so I think we're going to take faith from chops. I think we're going to take that from chops. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to make you find out on the next edition of the Game of the Week. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to comment if you would like to. Until then, we'll see you there. Bye.